Alright guys, so I'm going to teach you how to install JoyCaption on your computers. We're going to use the command line, we're going to use Python, we're going to download CUDA and install it. It's going to be so good, you're going to learn a lot. And the cool thing about JoyCaption is that it is actually very powerful image to text software, which means that you can actually put a photo in there and it's going to prompt out a kind of text which then you can use for multiple purposes to recreate the image. You notice here we have this, and we've been able to recreate a pretty good similarity. Obviously not exactly the same thing. Same here, we can take a picture. We're going to get similarities here. So we're going to be able to use that to recreate this. This obviously comes in handy when you're doing restoration work with an image, because you want to get pretty much exactly the same type of stuff. And this can be used in bigger projects where you're trying to train data sets and you have to actually label those things and capture each image. This can be used as a batch tool as well on whole folders. So you sit there and let it spin for an hour or more or whatever, and it's just going to create very cool labels for you. We're going to focus on, like I said, the command line, getting this working one image at a time, get it in there, and then you guys can freak out on it and really learn this on the ins and outs. I also then will be introducing you to the app here, which I of course have for quick use, get going fast use on the Patreon site. You can just download it, click it, get going. This is more what I use this kind of stuff for. I'm not training models. I need to quick and dirty, get in there, get it done, get the image and or get the prompt and get back to working. But by the time we're done, you guys are going to know how to set this up on your command line, tap, tap, tap it in there and get everything you want to do. And like I said, freak out however you want down the road with that. So we're going to get to that, but first please go ahead and like the channel and let people know about it, because the more we get people involved in this, the better the community gets and the better tools we get, the better things we get. So by doing that, you're actually helping get everything moving on. So thank you so very much for being helpful. All right, well, we're going to install this, so let's make sure we get back to Alrighty then, so what we're going to do is we're going to pop on over to our browser here, and I found this nice repo by this guy named Fire Ice Wolf, and he's taken the JoyCaption stuff and he just wants to be able to run it off his command line and get stuff going fast, which I appreciate, we all appreciate. That's really good stuff. Now, here's the thing, you're not going to be able to find him through Google search. He's only got 2 people watching him, and I'm one of them. So you're just going to have to go ahead and get the URL off of my description of the video. But really quickly, what it is github.com/fire-wolf/wd-joy-caption-CLI. Okay, so it's going to bring us to his repo. Okay, and what he's done is he has made it really simple, and he's combined 2 things. He's combined these WD models along with the JoyCaption models. So what that's going to do is, let's say we threw this picture in here, okay? The WD model is going to give us just basic captions that we can use for videos. This was really good when it comes to, we're going to be training models, and you get a bunch of pictures and you want the model to be able to recognize it by keywords. Hey, this is awesome. So it's going to give things like one girl, solo, long hair, breast, looking at viewer, okay? But then you get the JoyCaption, which is more descriptive of the photo. This is a digitally rendered image, likely created using blah, 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 featuring a young fitting suit that combines sleek metallic armor. Okay, then you can combine them together, so it's going to actually create a more descriptive image using them both. So we're going to be able to do that. These are the different models he's using, so you don't really need to worry about that. You can freak out on that later with the parameters. But I want to tell you, everything works pretty dang good. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and look through the directions. Now let's just go through here really quick. It's going to have us git clone it. Okay, it's going to have us create our virtual environment. Now this dot here is typically is a Linux thing, the way that they've got this. So just know that we're not going to use that dot, but that's fine. It's got us installing Torch. Now all of us, all you good installers here know that if we're running NVIDIA, we need to install the CUDA toolkit first, and we're going to need a different torch. We're going to need one that's actually compiled for CUDA. All right. Then it's going to have us go install some requirements, but it's going to have us do some different stuff here. Okay, so what we're going to actually do is it's going to have us pick and choose. So we're going to install, we're going to go ahead and install things for CUDA, okay, and we're going to install our JoyCaption, and we're going to install our stuff for Hugging Face. This is going to get us all ready to do everything that we need to do. So it's going to be multiple installs, okay, and we're not going to worry about model scope, okay. So we're going to go on, and then later you'll see that it's got some basic command here. The dogs are just beating up my door. Some basic commands, and we will expand on these just a little bit. So what we're going to do first is let's go ahead and grab this. We're going to highlight this. We're going to press Control-C to copy it, and then we're going to switch over to our command prompt to git clone. Okay, so what we do here is we choose the directory that we want to be in. So whatever directory you git clone into, it's going to create a folder. Okay, so I'm going to just go ahead and use my C drive. You could use your image drive. You could create an image drive, whatever you want. I'm going to hit Control-V, and what it says here, we're going to git clone. So we're cloning a repository, and this is the URL. And it's going to create a folder called WD JoyCaption CLI. So we'll go ahead and hit enter, and you'll see it's cloning into there. All right. Now, if we type dir wd star, that means show me every directory that starts wd. There it is. Now, I want to do a little trick here. I don't want to type that every time I go in there, so I'm going to type ren, which means rename. Okay, then I'm going to type the name of the folder, wd JoyCaption CLI, and then I'm just going to rename it JoyCaption. Okay, now the folder has been changed to that. So now if I go cd for change directory, I can just type cd JoyCaption, and there we go. It takes us into there. So let's go ahead and pop on, and we can type directory, and we'll see that everything is in there. Okay, so let's pop back to our browser, and our next direction is it wants us to go ahead and create and activate our virtual environment. So this is what we're going to do. Pop back to our command prompt, and we're going to use the word Python. So we're saying we want to run a Python command. We're going to use this -m to mean that we want to run something as a script. What do we want to run? We want to run Vim as a script. And then we're going to name it the same thing, Vim. Now again, you could name this whatever you want. You call it my environment, or Fred, or this is the best environment that has ever been created in the history of the earth. But whatever you call it, you're going to have to type it in every time. So kind of the de facto is just call it Vim, and then that way when other people see it, they know what it is too. But here I'm going to show you the trick. I'm going to put 2 ampersands. Normally we would do this and then activate it. I'm going to do it all in one fail swoop so that we remember to activate it. And what this ampersand does, it says whatever command is on the left, if it succeeds, then do the command on the right. Okay, so I'm going to say create a virtual environment, and if it goes ahead, then activate the virtual environment. So, and you do that by typing call vim scripts activate. Okay, so we're going to do this now. Watch, it's going to go ahead and create that virtual environment, and then it's going to activate it. So there, look at that. We are in our virtual environment. A lot of times what happens is we create the virtual environment and then we forget to actually use it. It's like buying a tarp for the table and then forgetting to put the tarp on the table. Okay, so it don't do no good. So by doing this all in one kind of swoop, getting used to doing that, it actually really helps to make sure that it always gets done. All right, so let's pop back over to our browser. Now you're going to notice here it gets us going into doing torch. Okay, so we all know we got to do our CUDA toolkit first, plus this ain't the torch you're looking for. It's like Star Wars. This ain't the torch you're looking for. Okay, go back to our command prompt. First thing we need to do is we need to install our Conda CUDA toolkit. Okay, so we're going to type Conda. God, I got fly. You guys just all over my face here. We're going to type Conda, and that's the command. We're saying use the Conda packages. The package I want to say is install. I want you to install something. Okay, What do I want you to install? Well, I'm going to use -C to say, look in the catalog. What's the catalog's name? NVIDIA. So lots of different catalogs. Just you got like, your Amazon catalog, whatever. You got your Target catalog, you got your Walmart catalog, whatever. We're looking at the NVIDIA catalog, and in there we're going, oh yeah, I want this one right here, the CUDA toolkit. Okay, and we're going to go equals 11.8 because that's the CUDA toolkit we have. If you have 12.4, type 12.4. Then I'm going to put a -Y just so that I don't have to prompt it yes later on. Okay? That helps when you're building scripts later for people. You can just do it for them. Now mine was already installed. Okay, so yours will take a minute to install, but that's fine. So we'll go ahead and do it. Now we can go ahead, if we go back to our browser, see it wants us to do our torch. Okay, this isn't the torch. So what we're going to do is we're going to click a new tab and we're going to type torch install. It's going to bring us over here. We're going to click start locally, and then we're going to pick all of our stuff, 11.8. We're going to highlight this, but now we're not going to use them all. Notice this has torch vision, torch audio. It's only asking for torch. Okay, so we're going to highlight it, press Control-C to copy it. We're going to pop back to our command prompt, and what we're going to do is we're going to paste it in, but now we're going to use the arrow keys, and we're going to download. We're going to delete torch audio, torch vision. Okay, so we've installed the CUDA toolkit. All right. Now we've gotten torch, and we're saying that we want the torch that will work with CUDA. This is if you put the wrong one in here. This is where you get your errors that say torch was not pre-built with CUDA, and you're like, well, I don't understand. It's like because you put the wrong torch in there. Okay. So another little tip is if you keep getting these torch is not pre-installed with CUDA or whatever errors, and even after you fix it, what you need to do is you need to delete the old torch completely, okay, and reinstall the new one. And how you can do that is by putting the new one in there and put in a -- and the word force, and that will force a completely new one in there. Because a lot of times what happens is it gets cached, okay, because it's trying to save you bandwidth and time. So it downloads and then it puts over here and it just keeps it. So sometimes even when you're asking for the new one, it messes up and it goes, well, let's just grab this one I got over here, not realizing it ain't the one that you need. So -- force will work, okay? Let's go ahead. Now, torch is not a small install. You can imagine if we were installing torch, vision, and audio, it'd take forever, and it does. So what we're going to do is I'm going to pause this, and we'll be right back, yo. All right, and we're right back. So the torch has been installed. That actually pretty much right after I paused it finished, so that's kind of funny. Let's pop back to our browser, and let's see what's going on. Let's go back to our repo. Okay, now it's going to have us go ahead and install our different requirements. Okay, so we're going to want WD Caption, but we're going to want WD Caption with GPU. So we're not going to do this one. We're going to do this one with 11.8. So let's go over here, highlight that, press Control-C, go back to our command prompt. Okay, and we're just going to hit Control-V. So we're going to pip install, and we're going to install from this requirements folder. So we're just going to go ahead and hit enter. Okay, it's going to go through there. It's going to download all the stuff we need. It's going to get us ready. Now this will take a little bit of time too, and we do have a few different ones of these to do. Okay. Oh, that didn't take much time at all. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to click back over to browser. Now we're going to go. We want to be able to use JoyCaption as well. So we installed the stuff that you need for WD. Now we're going to do the stuff for JoyCaption. So we highlight that, Control-C, pop back to our command prompt. Okay. Same thing, Control-V, and it's going to go ahead and do that. Yo. Okay. In the meanwhile, while this is going, we can go back here and we can see that it's going to want us to install stuff for Hugging Face. Now, Hugging Face is a place where all of our models are kept. So there's going to be a download. Remember, everything you're doing in AI is AI models. All an AI brain is it's a model. It's a file that has been formatted in a particular way to store data and retrieve data in a particular manner, and those are called models, and they're stored on Hugging Face, and when we use them, we have to download them, okay, because they're typically big. So let's highlight this, go back to our command prompt, and we're going to see that it's done, all right? So we got one more to do here. We're going to hit Control V, let that one go, okay, and that was quick, okay. We're not going to deal with this model scope because we just don't need to. If you know what that is and want to use it, you're welcome to use that, but for the sake of what we're doing here, we ain't going to do that. So everything's going. What we need to do is we're going to go over here and we're going to see how to run this thing. So here's the instruction. Python, we know that when you're using Python, you're going to use a Python command or run a file. It's going to want us to run a file called caption.py. How do we know it's a file? Because it ends in .py, so it's Python code, okay? And then your data sets path, so this is basically your image file. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy this, okay? Just hit Control C. We're going to go back to our command prompt, and we're going to paste it in there. But we need to get a, what do you call it, an image. So what we're going to do, let me go ahead, is we're going to pause this. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you how to do that. So give me just 1 second. Okay, so we go over to wherever you got your image at, okay, and we're just going to click on a file. So let's click on this pretty gal here. Now I'm going to right click. You can't really see it. If I go like this, you can kind of see it. And what we're going to do is you can go down here to copy as path, okay? So what that does is it's going to actually get the location of that file because we need that, okay? Then we're going to go back to our command prompt and we have this all set up, Python caption.py, and we're going to hit Control V, okay? Now, this is going to use, oops, let's get this out of the way. This is going to use the default, hold on. This is going to use the default settings, okay? And I believe the default settings are it's going to use both WD and Joy, or it might just do the one, but we'll find out, okay? But it's going to use default settings. I'm going to show you how to use non-default settings. So all we're doing is we're typing Python caption.py and putting the file location. Now I'm going to tell you, I don't think it's going to work because I think there's one more thing we have to do, but let's go ahead and hit enter. Okay. Come on. I was clicking around on here too much. Okay, there we go. So it's going to start downloading your models, okay? Now, you can see it's going to take a little bit of a while. Actually, mine might not because I've downloaded these in the past. But it'll certainly take at least a few minutes, okay? Yeah, so actually it is downloading. As you can see, it's model one, so it's going to take a little bit of time. In the meanwhile, let's do this. Let's pop back to our browser and let's look at what we've got going here. Okay, and we're going to see here that it's got this command Python caption.py -h. So this is going to be able to help us to figure out how to use some different models. Because if we go up here, you're going to actually see that they have an uncensored model, and that's basically just how that works. Is actually it's speaking with an LLM, so it's more willing to use, not safe for work words. Okay, so then over here we have our WD, our caption. So again, remember these are just the one word sort of things, and they've got larger models, all this kind of stuff. You're going to be able to change these by drilling with this -H or going down here and clicking on advanced options and following through all of this, which I'll show you a couple of small things to do, and then you guys can have it up there. Okay, but going back to our command prompt, we're going to see that this had an error. So this means there's an error in this code, okay, or at least in his requirements. Notice we end up here, import error. Okay, oh, I don't understand what any of this means. So we just keep reading up, and then, we eventually find a module not found error, no module name Onyx. Okay, so there was something missing from the pip install packages. So easy solution. All we're going to do, we're already in our virtual environment. We're just going to type pip install OONNX. That's it. Okay. Now watch what's going to happen. It's going to go ahead and it's going to download it. It's going to go ahead and install it. Okay, there you go. Now, if we press our up arrow, it takes us back to the last command, and then we press it again, we're going to see that we get back to our last command, and we just hit enter. Okay, and same thing. It's not going to download the models again, but it's going to go ahead and load it. So let me go ahead and pause for just a second, and we'll be right back. Okay, and that ran, and now let's go back over to our File Explorer. What it does is it's going to actually output the stuff that we created in our file folder. So actually, this ran both. I wasn't quite certain if it was running just the one or the t'other. So this is going to be our JoyCaption. If we go ahead and click this, photograph features a young woman with a fair complexion, auburn hair, styled in loose, scoff curls that frame her face. Her hair is parted on the side with bangs framing her forehead. She has a gentle smile looking directly at the camera. Okay, so it goes on and on. I even talked about her breasts are small and natural with no visible signs of artificial enhancement. So it's very detailed. That's pretty cool. Okay. Then we can. Oh, I didn't show you that. Damn it. Hold on just a second. I forget to put these things back first. So hold on. Okay, there we go. So you can see all this. Photograph features a young woman with fair complexion. Breasts are small and natural. Background slightly out of focus, suggesting a natural outdoor settings. So that's all pretty good. If we click on the image, well, actually, we don't have to click on the image. Let's just go back to our browser. And I think she's right here. You'll see that's actually pretty accurate. Let's see. I'll read it while we look at this. Young woman, fair complexion, auburn hair, styled in loose, soft curls that frame her face. Okay, I've had other ones where it says it's actually mentions pinned up. Her hair is parted on the side with bangs framing her forehead. She has a gentle smile looking directly at the camera. Wearing light blue off-the-shoulder dress with ruffled, flared sleeves. Okay, the dress has a deep V neckline revealing her collarbone, a small mole on her left shoulder. Oh, I didn't notice that. I guess that's right around in there. Okay, so anyways, blah, 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 blah. Lighting soft and warm and an out-of-focus background. So that all worked pretty good. Now let's go ahead and look at the captions. So if we right-click on the captions and go edit in Notepad, we can go back to that, and then we have one girl, solo, breast, looking at viewer, brown hair, dress, bare shoulders. Okay, so you could caption your model with that. That's pretty good. Okay, let's go ahead and try another one here. Let's go back to our File Explorer. Let's grab this picture of this handsome devil here, and let's right-click on it, and we're going to do the same as we did before. We're going to just copy his path. Now let's go back to our command prompt. Okay, if I can find the damn thing. And let's just hit the up arrow. Okay, so it's going to bring... Actually, let's do this. Let's go ahead and clear the screen, CLS. Now let's press the up arrow, and it's going to bring us back to where we were. So now let's just delete that, okay, and we will Control V in the new photo, and we're going to hit enter. Okay, so it's going to do the same thing. It's going to roll through this. Now again, once it's downloaded, you don't have to wait for another download. But you do have to load it. So this is why it wouldn't be bad to take your command and give it to ChatGPT and say, ChatGPT, I want to be able to run this command and keep it in memory. Give me a GUI, use Gradio to do it. Okay, so that actually went really fast. Let's go pop over here and see what it did. File Explorer. So we got the new ones here. You can see it's named by whatever the image is. So we'll click that bad boy. This image is a high-resolution photograph of a bearded man with long brown hair wearing a black baseball cap with an American flag design on the front. Okay. Wide, genuine smile showing his teeth and wearing reflective blue sunglasses. Okay, so if we go back to our browser again, okay, and we pop that up, we can go over here to, there it is. So I'll go ahead and let's see. Bearded man, long brown hair, wearing black baseball cap. Okay, it screwed up the baseball cap. Well, the front's black with American flag. Okay, he has a wide, genuine smile showing his teeth, wearing reflective blue sunglasses. Okay, it goes on. Standing on a bridge or a lookout with a railing visible on the right. Now, it doesn't mention what a handsome devil this guy is, but Still, that's pretty darn good. So as you know, we could go ahead, copy all this. We could then throw it into our image generator, and we get something similar. Okay, so that's obviously not exactly the same, but that's pretty close for just a one-shot image. And now if we threw the original in there and said to, we used a thing that enhances it, it actually wouldn't, it would come back with exactly this, but enhanced. So that would be very powerful. As well, if I wanted to make a model trained on a data set of myself, then I could use all those captions to tag it and get going in there. All right, so that's how it goes. Let me go and show you a couple more easy commands that we're going to use. We're going to go back to our command prompt. Okay, now let's say that we want to go ahead and use the uncensored model of this. So maybe you've got something in there that has some violence in it. Maybe it's gruesome, picture of of meat on a that's been chopped up in a butchery or something. Or I don't know, maybe you got a picture of a lady and she's touching her breasts. I don't know, whatever you're into, okay? What you're not all these things aren't going to caption it necessarily, because you know how these large language models are built. A lot of them like, hey, that's inappropriate. I can't do that. So you need unbiased models that will explain something without worrying about it. It's like having a hammer that sits there and you say, I want to hit this. And goes, well, I can't hit that. That might not be the right thing to do. And you're like, you're a hammer, just hit it. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to we're going to actually do this. I'm going to go ahead and grab a command here, and I'll put these down in the description for you so that you can use them. There's 3 basic commands that we need. Is the one we just used. Then we're going to use this one, and what this is going to do is it's going to use the uncensored version. Now, again, I understand this is kind of heavy, so we'll go through it. Okay, we already know this. Python caption.py. Okay, then we need the photo file. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to undo this. Now, I'm not going to grab a not safe for work photo. Okay, we'll just grab the ones that we already have here. So I'm just going to go over here and we'll just grab this gal and we'll copy her as a path. Okay, but let's assume that, or whatever, if her shirt was off or something, it would still work. Okay, so then we're going to go back to here. We deleted thing that was in there. We're just going to press Control V. So it's going to give us the file we want. Now, the next parameter is this --joy config. Okay, so it's basically saying the way that this app runs is it runs off configuration files. Okay, so it's got 3 different configuration files that are under the configs folder. Okay, and the one that we're going to need is the uncensored config. Okay, so we're going to give it the parameter --joy config. In other words, we'll say, hey, we're going to use a configuration file for the JoyCaption part of this. And then it says, which one do we want to do? Well, we want to use the one that's in the configs folder, which is why we type that in, and then a \, because we're giving it a file direction. We're going to say we want the one that's in the configs folder, and it's called uncensored_joy.json. Okay, so we've told it. Then what we're going to do is we're going to say we want a caption method. Now, the third one that I'm going to show you here in a second is basically if you only want the captions, it goes really fast. You can do it that way. You can do just the Joy captions. We can do them both. So you go --caption_method. We're saying, hey, I want to tell you the type of caption that I want to use. And then for this, we just put both. I want both. Listen, I want the captions and I want the Joy, right? If we wanted just the one, we could type WD, okay, or we could type Joy, okay. We'll go ahead and we'll do both, okay. And then, whoops, what we have to do is we have to tell it the model name that we want. And the model name you're wanting, so we say same thing, I'm going to tell you the Joy model name I want. You guys can freak out and figure all this out stuff later. I'm showing you the basics here. The Joy model one I want is one that's JoyCaption Uncensored. Okay, that's the model that we want to use. Okay. Now it's case sensitive. If you put a small J in here or a big O, it's not going to work. Okay. But we've got it already there. We have primed the thing. We've got our image in there, and we hit enter, and oh my God, it's going to go. But it's going to download the models first. Okay. So we're going to get stuck into another bit of model loading. Okay. So we'll go ahead and pause this because it's going to take a little bit of time. Here you can see it's a 5 GB model. Okay. If you guys start running out of space when you're running these applications, you need to go through there and start deleting models, because this is exactly what happens. So we'll go ahead and pause this, and we'll be right back, and we'll see the results. Yo. Okay, so that loaded the models, and then boom, it created it. So if we pop back over to our File Explorer, you're going to see it here, and this one actually is a bit longer. Photograph young woman with fair complexion, long curly red hair. Hold on a second. V-neck flared sleeves. Oh, here we go. Curly red hair tied up in loose, effortless buns. Okay, that was a little bit more than the other. So you could really play with what you want to get. Same thing. We can right-click on the captions, edit in our notepad. And one girl, pretty much the same thing, looking at viewer, brown hair, bare shoulders, photorealistic. So it got everything that we needed. Again, as I mentioned, if we wanted to go ahead and just get the captions, we could erase the word both, and we could type WD, or we could write joy. And that brings us to our last command that we're going to talk about. And that is this one here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and copy this. Now, I don't mean to confuse you here. We're going to remove our, I should have done this a little differently, but we're going to remove some of our parameters. Okay, same thing, we're going to get our image path. We're going to go through here. There's our Python caption.py. We're going to erase the photo file, put our image in there, and then now dash, we're changing some parameters. All we're doing on this one is changing the caption method. And it's exactly what we did before. It's just both WD or joy. Okay? Now, the difference with this one and the last one is that you'll notice there is no config file. So this is going to use our default, okay? If you just want to get going and you want to just do the one, you don't care about the uncensored model, you can do this. You don't have to worry about the config. The only time you have to worry about your config parameters is if you're going to use the uncensored model, okay? And then again, guys, you can grab these directions and just throw them into ChatGPT and say, hey, make me a GUI based around these commands. And it'll do it, you know, and then you just tweak it and play with it, okay? And then you're a programmer. My God, you're good, okay? Here we come, Microsoft, all right? Here we come, Google. All right, so same thing. It would just do all that, but this is going to use this, your base, your JoyCaption pre-alpha. And same thing here, guys. The issue is that it's case sensitive. So if it says file not found, it's probably because you're using, you spelled it wrong. All right, so that is how you make this on the command line. Now, let's go over here, and I want to show you this really quick. Whoops, we don't need to be there. What we need to be is here. Okay, if you go to my Patreon page, which is patreon.com/cognibuild, okay? Gosh, man, it'd be nice if I could spell. Okay, it's going to pop us up here. Okay, and you got all sorts of good stuff. But what we can do is click on collections. You'll find it here under your member exclusive, or you can look under, image or shoot. I think it's under the shooting range, and you're going to find down here. You guys see I got all this software you can get. You're going to find Joy Image Captioning. Okay, and you can go get this. You can get this for $5. Okay, and it's just a quick, easy install that works just like this. All you got to do is you go to you download the file, it comes down on this. You just extract it, and then all you got to do is click Windows Install. It's going to do everything for you. Then when it's done, you click Windows Start, okay, and then it brings up this pre-app for you, okay, and you're going to be able to put in a folder for your batch processing. You set your output things, all this kind of stuff, and way easier way to get going here, okay. So the other way is awesome, and it's great if you just want to get in there and click. You can do this, and in fact, you can put it in your path environment so that no matter where you're at, all you got to do is type the command. But if you just want to get going fast, this is the way to do it. Head over to the Get Going Fast page, come down here, download it, click it, get it going, and you're in the game. And this will actually run the uncensored stuff as well. So this one's got everything all tied together and gives quite good descriptions as well. So, all right, well, there you have it, guys. We successfully made it through it. We made it through the install. You guys are great. Oh my God. There for a minute, I didn't think we was going to make it, but I was like, I had faith in you. I was like, you know what? They're gonna hang and they're gonna get it done, and you did. You knocked it out of the ballpark. So go ahead, have fun, build something with it. It's like Legos. We get the basic stuff, and then upon that you can build upon. You can make these and these and these and these and these, and then next thing you know, you build Starlink. Okay, and so we're at the very basic beginner here, and we're moving up this ladder together, and that's pretty exciting. So you guys hang in there. We will catch you the next time. As always, be good and yo.